I'd like to spend a few minutes and share with you a few thoughts I have on why I believe that storytelling is so essential when trying to share the meaning of relationship models with other people. I don't know how often it is that I get emails from people with attachments that sort of look like this cryptic wiring diagram and a short note that says, take a look at this and let me know what you think. And as I open it and look at it, well, the labels begin to make a little bit of sense, but there's no clue as to how to go about understanding this. And when I go around and I click on it, there are no comments on any of the elements or any of the links. And I'm sort of at a loss as to how to go about understanding what they sent me. And this is one of the simpler ones. I mean, usually they're a very elaborate mess, I guess. And to a point, it's understood because modelers become very attached to their models, and they understand what they've developed, and they understand the meaning of the labels beyond the extent to which the label conveys what it actually means, and they understand what's not there, and they know what the connections mean, and they have enabled insights to emerge from all of these connections, but they haven't given anyone else a clue as to how to go about connecting with those insights. It would have been better if someone had have sent me something that looked like this, which is laid out in a much more orderly fashion. There are loop labels that give me a sense of what order to understand this in. There's a description of what the model is supposed to be about, and it starts out to say, the boy has learned from past experience that cry wolf will cause the townspeople to come running, and from there you proceed to go ahead and look at what the boredom relief loop says and what the improved belief loop says, and you can walk through the sequence and develop an understanding of the unfolding story. Somewhere along the line I made a connection between what a model is in a play. You go to the play and you sit in the audience and you watch the play unfold from one act to another as the actors interact with each other and develop relationships from one act to another, so that a loop is like an act in a play, and the elements are the actors, and the relationship between them cause the story to unfold over time. Now, if the play was written well and put together well at the end of the play, you go away and you understand the story, and you take most of it with you because there's a meaningful pattern there as opposed to just a bunch of jumbled connections. So you can do that with models also and tell people a story so that they understand what the model portrays. Now, it would have been better, I think, if someone had sent me something that looked like this, which is a presentation about this, so that it starts out and shows me two elements and it describes it, and it allows me to walk through this piece by piece, showing me a segment of the model and describing it. Though the difficulty with this is, imagine that if you went to the play and you watched the actors go through all the movements on stage, but there was no audio. You actually had to read the script as you watched the play. And that's what happens in this kind of a situation, because you're looking at the model on the right-hand side and you're reading the description on the left-hand side, and you're going back and forth, and most of the time it seems to make people dizzy. Though it is in fact better than not having any unfolding at all. What I have found to be the best presentation is to use a video such as this, whereby the video unfolds the story.
A perspective on when trying harder isn't always the most appropriate approach, which seems to be the case in a lot of situations. Young boy has a new job tending sheep, and he's a little concerned because the townspeople have told him that he needs to be vigilant and watch out for wolves because they come and eat the sheep. So if he spots a wolf, he's supposed to cry wolf, and the townspeople will come running and ensure that he's safe and chase the wolf away. So this happens on a number of instances, and the boy learns that when he cries wolf, the townspeople come running, and he becomes the center of attention. And he likes being the center of attention, and this goes on for a while. And, periodically the wolves show up, and he cries wolf, and the townspeople come running. Though the situation develops where, nothing's happening for a while, and the wolves aren't showing up, and he's been tending sheep for months now, and he becomes rather bored with the job, and he remembers the attention he got when the townspeople came running. So in order to resolve this difference, he goes ahead and he cries wolf because the townspeople come running, making him the center of it.
Okay, so I'm not going to let this continue throughout the rest of the video, but you see, the idea is that you can sit there and watch the model unfold as it's described to you, and behind the scenes, this model exists physically that you can refer back to in the future if you want to look at anything specific in detail, as opposed to looking at something like this and wondering what it is that's going on. And after looking at this for a short period of time, the typical thing is I send back a message to the person and say, well, that was pretty nice. And what I really wanted to say is, why the hell did you send this to me? Because it's completely undecipherable. So that sort of a combination of a well laid out model that tells a story and a video that unfolds that story for other people will sort of ensure that the message that is unfolded by that set of relationships, the emerging characteristics, will end up getting communicated to the people that you want to communicate it to. I mean, it doesn't make much sense if one labors over the development of a model for days or weeks or sometimes months, and then doesn't give anyone else half a chance of understanding what it says. So that's sort of why I think that storytelling is the best way to communicate the meaning of models to other people.